¿Qué pasa, YouTube? How's it going, everybody? Got for you guys today a Showdown live in the 7th Gen OU tier. Now, my previous live was actually Pokebank OU, which Pokebank probably is not going to be released until January. So, let me know if you guys would like to see the next couple of lives to be in 7th Gen OU, kind of focusing more on the mons that you can actually catch in game and use on Wi-Fi for right now. For those of you who would maybe like to, for those of you who like to test teams on Showdown, then use them on Wi-Fi is basically what I'm talking about. But yeah, let me know if you guys would just like to see 7th Gen OU lives, or you don't care seeing both Pokebank and regular 7th Gen OU. So yeah, would really appreciate you guys leaving a comment about that down below. So as you can see from the team, there's a pretty cool team that was based around Zygarde that I actually made earlier, and I'm not too sure what the final move on the Coil set is, but I like Dragon Tail because it's still good to phase things out, and if this thing can get behind a substitute with Coil up, and if it transforms into Zygarde 100 form, this thing does not die. Basically, like, this thing is an absolute monster with enough speed to outspeed a timid or jolly Como. Next off, we have especially offensive Tapu Koko, which I am surprised by how well Tapu Koko has been doing so far right now in the meta game. Then, of course, we have to have Aegislash because this thing is an absolute monster. Rockin' Sacred Sword over something like Substitute or Shadow Sneak. Then we have Spike's Greninja here with Protean. Unfortunately, right now, in regular 7th Gen OU, you can't get Gunk Shot on Greninja. So I would have liked to have Gunk Shot over Spikes, but Spikes are still going to be pretty handy to be able to rack up damage with phasing Zygarde here and wear things down. So my Tapu Koko and Aegislash can pick them off. And then, of course, we have good old Mamoswine. Man, I haven't seen Mamoswine in OU in so long. And this is our Stealth Rocker and our Ground type, and just a hard hitting powerful mon. Then, of course, you have to have a Clefable because Clefable is still probably one of the best Pokemon in this tier. And Rock and Thunder Wave, of course, because Yellow Magic is still pretty decent right now. You're still able to half your opponent's speed and just paralyze them and immobilize them for one full turn. So that's one turn that you can completely take into your advantage. And then Calm Mind is going to be nice to be able to set up on mons that can't beat Clefable. So yeah, that's a quick intro to the team, guys. I'm really hoping Zygarde puts in a lot of work, so let's get this started. Alright, so we got the first match here, and if this Xerxes does not have Hidden Power Ice, then I think Zygarde can pretty much win the match. So looking at leads, he may lead off with his Scizor or his Circuitry, so I may just want to lead off with Aegislash is what I'm thinking. Actually, yeah, he cannot touch Aegislash except for his Guzzlord here, which Guzzlord actually may be a bit of a problem. If he has Gunk Shot, Guzzlord could actually be a huge issue. But then again, I don't know why you wouldn't run Gunk Shot on Guzzlord. Man, I really want to use Guzzlord. The one thing that's kind of deterring me from using Guzzlord is the fact that while it may have a massive HP stat, its offensive stats are really not that great, and it's 4 times weak to Fairy, so that does kind of suck. But in comes the Skarmory, since that is his lead. I'm just going to straight up Shadow Ball. Like, he has nothing to safely switch in except for his Guzzlord. Even then, I'm not too concerned about what he wants to do to me, because I can just go ahead and King Shield and see what move he'll have to hit me with. Whether it be a physical crunch move, or maybe he'll just predict me to switch out. Regardless, though, I am just going to go ahead and Shadow Ball here. We are going to be doing a lot of damage to this Skarmory regardless of what set it is, as I'm not too concerned if he does want to get up hazards. They are going to suck, but I should be able to play around them. I'm guessing this has Rocks and Spikes, because nothing else on his team gets Rocks besides the Skarmory. Alright, so he ended up going for the taunt, which is a-okay with me, as Shadow Ball. My lord, Shadow Ball, the power of Shadow Ball. I'm gonna go ahead and Sacred Sword here on the off chance that he wants to switch into his Guzzlord, as he's just gonna take the opportunity to get up his rocks. So I'm definitely thinking that was just a Spike lead, Rock lead, Skarmory with Custop. So in comes the Xerxes, and this is a little bit scary because I'm basically forced to switch out here. I need to keep Mamoswine because I can deal with the Toxapex, and unfortunately, even if we were Jolly, we wouldn't outspeed Xerxes. So depending on what set the Xerxes is will determine on how we can deal with it. But I don't I can still save Aegislash is what I'm thinking, because if this is Quiet or Brave Nature Aegislash, then my Aegislash can outspeed him. So that's going to be really good. And I don't want to bring in Clefable, although I may have to. Yeah, I think I'm just going to bring Clefable here. He's probably going to go for the Volt Switch. If not, then maybe Predict Me and Hidden Power Ice. But he turns out to have the Grass Knot, no Life Orb. And judging from that damage, I don't think that he specs. So I can definitely see him wanting to switch out here. So I think what I'm going to do is go for the T-Wave, because there's no reason he should want to stay in here. Like, even if he brings in the Toxapex, I can just paralyze it, and that's just going to make it easier for my Zygarde to set up on it. As in comes the Scizor. So he's definitely going to Mega Evolve here, unless he is banded for some reason. So I think this could give me a free switch back into my Aegislash. And at this point with Aegislash, I could Sacred Sword against the Scizor. Although there is a chance he may have the knockoff, so I'm gonna have to watch out for that. But I'm guessing the Circuitries is definitely choiced in some way. Probably Scarf, because he didn't do too much damage to my Clefable. And I don't think that Circuitries with specs would be as good as Scarf Circuitries. That's just my opinion. So unfortunately, he gets fully paralyzed, and the issue with this is that I don't know if he has Bullet Punch now, so he could be like Swords Dance Iron Head, which would actually kind of benefit us. But I kind of want to King Shield heal first, just to see if he does have the knockoff. This way it won't be as effective, because he will be on -2. So he does just turn out to go for the U-turn, which means he definitely does not have the knockoff. As I'm just going to go ahead and Shadow Ball. Even if he outspeeds me here, that's fine, it's not that big of an issue, although he shouldn't be able to outspeed me, because half speed Scizor should not be faster than me from... Yeah, he should not be able to outspeed me here, basically. So yeah, I can basically Shadow Ball here, is what I'm trying to say. The only downside would be that he gets a free switch into Guzzlord. So he's going to decide to switch out into his Aegislash, as I do go for the Shadow Ball, and that is not a switch in, my friend. I'm not too sure what he thought I would do. Maybe he thought I would predict the Guzzlord, so that kind of makes sense, as he goes for a Shadow Ball of his own. I, unfortunately, do not know if my lefties went before him. So I could just Shadow Ball here if I really wanted to. At the same time, I can also go ahead and switch out. Maybe into Greninja. Greninja would be a pretty aggressive switch here, because I can see him just going for the King Shield, honestly. Yeah, I'm expecting him to want to go for the King Shield here, as he Shadow Balls, doing literally nothing to us, which is really, really great. So I'm going to take this chance just to get up a layer of spikes in hopes that he will switch into the Toxapex. And if I had Extra Sensory, I guess that wouldn't be too bad of a move to go for here, but I really don't see him wanting to stay in on this Greninja. Unless he does predict me to predict him to not King Shield, then yeah, that would be crazy if he did predict me that way. But I mean, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Aegislash is still not that big of an issue, because we do have Mamoswine and we do have Zygarde, which can both beat him 1v1. So I'm going to get up a layer of spikes, as he does make a pretty aggressive play here, staying in, expecting me to not go for the offensive move, and now he can basically knock me out with the Shadow Sneak if he really wanted to. So regardless, getting up one layer of spikes is going to be nice, I think, as here I can bring in Mamoswine and probably just Earthquake. If you look at his team, he literally has no safe switch-ins to an Adamant EQ, although Scizor could come in, but Zygarde can also just come in here, and I can probably just Earthquake as well. Yeah, I think I'm just going to bring in Zygarde here, honestly, and try to substitute. Because no, okay, so I thought he would have tried to go for the King Shield there, but I'm guessing that I'm just over predicting way too much, and I kind of still want to sub though. One more substitute, I think. No, okay. Maybe I'm just playing a little too safe, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I should have just Earthquaked right away. Regardless, though, it's fine. I'm not too concerned. If he does want a King Shield here, that's not that big of an issue. I can still knock something out. With this one layer of spikes, his team is going to be getting worn down every time they are switching in and out. And I can still substitute on this Toxapex and potentially on the Scizor as well. And like I said, I'm pretty sure the Circuitries is Scarfed. So down goes the Aegislash. Unfortunately, Zygarde took a little bit more damage than he should have, as in comes the Circuitries, which I'm pretty positive he is just going to want to go for the Hidden Power Ice on this one. So honestly, I think I can safely bring in Mamoswine, but at the same time, because he's got Grass Knot, he could go for that. I think Aegislash is an okay switch in here. If he Bolt Switches, that's a really good play on his part. So it's a good thing I did not bring in Mamoswine there. Very good thing I did not bring in Mamoswine, as I'm going to go ahead and just Sacred Sword here, expecting him to want to bring in the Guzzlord, as he does bring in the Guzzlord. So this is really great. We're going to get off some initial damage on this Guzzlord as we get a crit. I'm not too sure how much that really matters. Would have that mattered? As he brings in the circuitries, I mean, even if he goes for the electric move here, it's not going to be that crucial. Yeah, like, that did 40%. First off, that's a lot of damage for a Volt Switch. Second off, Aegislash is a monster, so I'm going to go ahead and Shadow Ball here, as in comes a Toxic Pex, and if he doesn't have Black Sludge, we can 2 KO him. Unfortunately, though, he has the leftovers here, the Black Sludge, whichever. And I may just switch right into Zygarde on this one. The only downside to that is if he burns us, then we can't quite set up as well as I would want to. At the same time, though, I don't want Aegislash to take any unnecessary damage, and Mamoswine is still going to be able to pick up a KO, and we still stop this Xurkitrese from locking himself into Hidden Power Ice against our Zygarde. Although, honestly, I don't think Mamoswine is too bad of a switch-in. The more I'm thinking about it, Clefable just does not do anything to Toxapex outside of maybe Calm Mind and try to beat it 1v1 if it doesn't have Haze. Although at the same time, I could probably just bring in Tapu Koko and be a little bit more aggressive than I could be before, because even if he gets the burn, it's not going to be that big of an issue, as he actually ends up getting up a layer of T-Spikes, which honestly does not really matter, I think, because Tapu Koko can just put in a lot of work right now, because with this Zygarde being weakened, it's going to be knocked out by any move I want to go for. I mean, sorry, the Guzzlord. So yeah, even if we had got the crit against this, I don't think that it really would have mattered, as we're going to Thunderbolt, nothing, because the Guzzlord goes down. In comes the Skizor. I can honestly take one Bullet Punch, so I'm just going to stay in here and go for the Volt Switch just to kind of get off a little bit of chip damage on this is what I'm thinking, because I don't want to aggressively switch right into Aegislash, because if he doesn't go for the Bullet Punch here, he's probably going to end up going for the knockoff, is what I'm thinking now. So I could try to bring in Moonshine here. Yeah, honestly, Clefable isn't doing much for me in this match, as I am just going to be able to sack it off here if it really comes down to it. But he ends up going for the U-turn, thinking I would be fearing him going for the Bullet Punch, which is a-okay with me. Unfortunately, Toxapex does kind of come in here, but it really cannot do anything to anything that I have. And at this point, Tapu Koko plus the remainder of my squad will be able to win us this match. So in comes the Xurkitrese. I am just going to go ahead and fodder off my Clefable here. I really don't need it, and I can just Moonblast whatever comes in, get off a little bit of chip damage. Whoa, that is probably Specs now. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that is now Specs, because that did 71% to a Clefable. Can we just let that sink in for a moment? This is Clefable, one of the best 6th gen Pokemon ever, and it just took 71% from a Thunderbolt. That is Specs. So, you know, I kind of thought the Grass Knot damage was doing a little bit too much earlier, but I wasn't too sure because I don't know the damage rolls from Specs Xurkitrese. But this thing is 100% Specs, because he was doing entirely too much damage. But it's okay, we have good old Mamoswine here, which can basically just lock himself into the Ice Shard, and I think at this point the match is pretty much over. Even if he wants to bring in the Scizor, it's gonna get knocked out by Spikes and by Ice Shard, then the Toxapex is gonna get destroyed by the Earthquake. So yeah, I think that is pretty much the game in our favor. Even though he did get up a layer of T-Spikes and we weren't able to get up rocks, it was a-okay, as Ice Shard, ooh, Ice Shard doing 0. I was really hoping that would knock him out. But as long as I don't get a low roll on the second Ice Shard, it should be fine. As long as I don't get a low roll, we should be fine. Even if I do, I still don't think that the Xurkitrese can win him back the match. Yeah, I don't see how he can still win this game. So yeah, as long as that wasn't like an absolute high damage roll and I get a low damage roll this next turn, we should be fine to still just win with Mamoswine. As Mamoswine asserting his dominance, knocking out the Scizor, Xurkitrese is going to get knocked out by Spikes and by Ice Shard, and then Toxapex is gonna get utterly nuked by an adamant life form Earthquake. So Mamoswine just coming through, being able to finish off the last couple members of his squad here. Yeah, there's no way the combination of Toxapex plus Circuitries is going to be able to beat what I have left. Finally, in comes this thing, and it's just going to drop as he's going to Painful Bunker. Why are you this? You're not going to win. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, because I'm still gonna live. I'm still gonna live, and Mamoswine is still going to be able to just destroy this circuitry. So that is game. Mamoswine just asserting his dominance. Let's go get another one. Oh, I mean, we already got it. Never mind, we already got it. Oh, Porygon Z. That is actually very, very scary, because he knows that my only counter to Porygon Z is Aegislash, so he can easily just Dark Pulse in that case. So I'm gonna have to watch out for that. I think this is like my second time ever seeing this, what is it, Halosand, and Halago could be Specs. So depending on the coverage move from this thing will determine on how I can deal with it. And another Toxapex, which really shouldn't be too big of an issue. So Zygarde could set up on half of his squad from the looks of it. So that's what I think I'm gonna try and do. Mamoswine honestly isn't too bad of a lead, although he could lead the Tapu Koko, and because I'm not sashed, he is gonna straight out knock me out. So I may lead Aegislash. Like, he really has nothing to deal with the lead Aegislash outside of this Porygon Z, which I do have the King Shield. So this is actually not that bad. The reason why this isn't that bad is because I can go for the King Shield here and see if he's gonna be locked into Dark Pulse or not. So let's see. What? Whoa, 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 what? Hello? What just happened? I don't know what just happened. I'm so confused. I'm about to get Shrek'd. I'm about to get Shrek'd. What is this? What is this? I lost. What do I do? What is this monster that is Z conversion? He's gonna have Ice Beam. If I lose, if he's got Ice Beam, like, I just lose. Maybe I could have brought in Clefable. What? Oh God! I just died. This just caught me completely off guard. I'm not even upset that I'm about to just get destroyed by this. Oh my lord. Oh. Oh my lord, I completely forgot about that. Oh, okay. All right. So in the notes, Z conversion, Porygon Z is an absolute threat. So that is one giant thing that I now have to watch out for, and this dude is using Joey's team, which is kind of cool. I don't really remember all the sets, although I think this could be Specs, although he did make a moveset video on them, so this could be like Dragon Dance, maybe Banded, but I'm just gonna go off of Specs. And this should be Protean with Spikes, and this has Defog, so that is going to be a little bit annoying to deal with. Looking at leads, I can see him leading off the Tapu Koko, maybe the Greninja. Again, if I was Sash Mamon, that wouldn't be too bad of the lead matchup for us. I think I'm just going to lead Tapu Koko, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to lead Tapu Koko. He doesn't have a ground resist, which is one huge flaw of this team, as he actually leads off with this, and I'm just gonna Volt Switch, right? No, I can just Dazzling Gleam or Thunderbolt. I should just T-Ball, right? Like, you're just gonna die. You're just gonna drop the Thunderbolt. I don't care if you're gonna switch this in. Oh! Okay, I mean, that's fine. I did not even know this got Lightning Rod. That's honestly not that big of an issue. So what I could do here is just bring in my Clefable and honestly just go for the Thunder Wave, as he ends up going for the Will-O-Wisp. Although I could see him maybe wanting to stay in here. So while I could T-Wave, Moonblast wouldn't be too bad of a play either. What would he want to switch into? The Scizor maybe? Kartana maybe? Zygarde isn't too bad of a switch in here either is what I'm thinking. So I think I'm gonna double here into my Zygarde, see what he wants to do, as he ends up going for the Shadow Bone. Doesn't do entirely too much damage to us. So what I could do here is just go straight for the Earthquake, but I think I'm gonna substitute because there should be no move he has to break my sub, as he's gonna try and Will-O-Wisp me. Very, very bad misplay on my opponent's part there, as he just leaves. He knew it was over. He knew it was over. So we got the next match here, and a fellow Zygarde. Hopefully he's not running a lot of speed like I'm running. So looking at potential leads, probably he's got no rocks. He's got no stealth rocks. Why don't you have stealth rocks? Hello? I actually almost just want to lead Greninja to get up my spikes, because spikes are really going to hurt him. Although I can see him maybe wanting to lead Kartana, I still think I'm going to lead Greninja, as he's going to lead off. Oh no, this has rocks. Hold on, I forgot that Nihilego actually does learn stealth rocks, and it also learns T-spikes. So that's two little bits of information there, and I'm probably just gonna Hydro Nuke this because I don't want him to get up T-spikes on me unless I miss. Oh, that is actually just really annoying. That is really annoying because he gets up a layer of T-spikes regardless of what I do now. So this may have just become a bit of a harder matchup for us to win, because now we can't set up with Zygarde, which could have destroyed him. Zygarde can set up on this thing. It can set up on the Aegislash as well, and we could have also outsped his own Zygarde. I guess the good thing about him potentially getting up T-spikes is that he'll knock us lower, or he'll knock us faster into 100% range. So look, we would have just destroyed him with the Hydro Pump. Please don't miss this time. Please. Thank you. Get dropped. So I'm guessing he didn't have T-spikes. T-spikes actually would have really helped him out here if he had them. So luckily he doesn't have them, which means we are still in an okay scenario here. If he brings in the Zygarde, he definitely is going to have the E-Speed. Unfortunately, Mega Zam can now outspeed us once it Mega Evolves. So I still feel like I have use for this Greninja. If anything, I can get up a layer of spikes later. So I can see him just wanting to knock us out here, if anything. So I may make an aggressive switch into Clefable. Although, yeah, I don't think Clefable is too bad of a switch in here, because we can still get off one huge hit with Greninja or get up spikes. Well, no. I think I'm just gonna leave in Greninja here. I think I'm just gonna leave in Greninja and get up spikes. Just get up spikes. Oh, that is actually terrifying. That is terrifying. Oh, forgot all about that. So this Thunder Wave is going to stop this giant threat of a monster here. I completely forgot that he could have traced Protean there. For some reason, I always forget the ability of Mega Alakazam. I always think that it's regular Alakazam that has Trace. And just, yeah, that was a dumb play on my part, because it should have just switched right into Clefable, and we could have prevented him from getting Protean Greninja there, as he actually switches into the Kartana. I'm guessing he thought that I would go for a Moonblast. I'm not too sure what he thought there. Regardless though, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Zygarde here and try to substitute in hopes that maybe he doesn't have the Encore on his Mega Zam, as he's gonna double switch into his Zygarde. We're gonna see which is faster, as I am faster than him. So this is actually really huge, as I'm gonna go ahead and substitute here and see if he does have the Dragon Tail or not, and that's actually not that big of an issue. So long as I don't miss Dragon Tail here, I'm not concerned. So long as I don't miss Dragon Tail, I'm not concerned about him being Dragon Danced, because this thing could potentially sweep me if I do miss, depending on his coverage moves. So yeah, I should be able to Dragon Tail here. I personally like Dragon Tail Zygarde over Dragon Dance Zygarde, because it's nice to be able to get behind a substitute and just prevent your opponent from being able to do anything to you directly. As I Dragon Tail him back into the Kartana, this is actually not that bad, because I can substitute here as he potentially gets fully paralyzed, as he ends up going for the Smart Strike. Unfortunately does not get paralyzed, and I'm going to try and sub one more time, because if he gets paralyzed once, then that just means I can go ahead and get up a Coil at that point. So I could Coil here if I really wanted to. One thing I was a little bit worried is that he would have the defog, because I saw that it could learn that. So he's gonna end up bringing in the Tapu Lily as we get brought down into 100% form, and I'm just going to Earthquake here. Unfortunately, he is faster than us, as that does so much damage. Good lord, that did so much damage. So I'm gonna switch. Why are you Earthquake? I mean, I don't know. Is it a big deal that I'm Earthquake? Hello? What's the difference between this and 1,000 Arrows? I mean, I guess it can have flying types. Hold on. I really didn't think it was that big of an issue. Regardless though, I'm just gonna Shadow Ball here, as he's gonna bring in Kartana. Yeah, this is not a switch-in, my friend. That is not a switch-in. It just drops. So I mean, I guess it hits flying type. So just that it hits flying types. I don't know. I didn't really think it would be that crucial. I mean, what am I hitting? Skarmory, I guess? I mean, that's not too bad of an option. I don't know. I mean, like, does it really matter? Does it really matter? I don't know. Just for the sake of it, I'll have it. So, I mean, I guess if it's broken, I don't know. Well, I guess you can hit Landorus too. You can hit what? You can hit Tornadus even. Okay. So the more I think about it, I guess the more I can see the benefits over it. But I really didn't think it would be that big of an issue. As in comes the Alakazam. If this has sub, it could still be a bit of an issue. But I'm just going to King Shield regardless to gain back a little bit of lefties. And we can stall out the final turn of Psychic Terrain. So yeah, if I did switch in the Clefable, that actually would have been a little bit risky. As no! He has the item! He's got that item that increases the turn of terrain. That's actually pretty cool. I don't know what it's called, but that is a new item that was implemented in 7th Gen. So I really want to say I can still live a Shadow Ball. Like, I still honestly think I can live a Shadow Ball here. And I'm just gonna stay in. Oh, just eating it up. Aegislash, the Don Cornelion here, gonna be able to knock out Alakazam and just destroy it. Zygarde, yeah, Zygarde could be a bit of a problem here. So I may not even attack it. Should I attack it? I'm just gonna Shadow Ball as he ends up going for the rest. What? Hold up. That actually seems terrifying. Please don't Earthquake me. Okay, luckily no Earthquake. What? That's doing 0. What is this? Hello? I don't know what to do here. What do I do? Maybe Mamoswine? What? This is a pretty cool set. That is a pretty cool set. I like that. But he shouldn't be able to live this hit from Mammo. This is Adamant Ice Shard Mamoswine. I'm going to be severely upset if he lives this. So I know it's pretty risky for me to bring in my Mamoswine there, as in comes the Aegislash. So he's going to make a nice play there, predicting me to Ice Shard. So what I could do here is just switch on out into my own Zygarde, because Zygarde puts in a lot of work against him. I don't see Aegislash doing much either in this match at this point. So I'm going to bring in Aegislash. I'm bringing Aegislash here just basically as death fodder. See what he wants to do, as he's going to Flash Cannon. That's really not that big of an issue for us, as I should be able to just Shadow Ball him here. And he's going to King Shield. Yeah, that's fine. That's not that big of an issue. I really don't want him to get a free switch back in the Zygarde, so I'm just going to be aggressive here, as he's going to end up knocking me out with his own Shadow Ball. I can go ahead and then bring in Tapu Koko, which should be able to easily live any move that this thing wants to go for, and I'm not too concerned about what he has left at this point, because I don't think he should be able to win. Yeah, because once Zygarde comes in, it's going to be in range of where Dazzling Gleam will be able to knock him out, because we are Life Orb. There, yeah, you're not living this. We're Life Orbed. This thing is a monster, man. Tapu Koko is a Dawn, and luckily we do have the Dazzling Gleam, as down Zygarde goes, and we're going to be able to finally knock out the Tapu Lily here. So yeah, I guess we're going to keep 1000 Arrow on Zygarde. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was that big of an issue because, I mean, we have Dragon Tail, and if we're behind a substitute, then it's not really that big of a deal if we can't hit flying types, I guess. Plus, Earthquake does have a little bit of extra damage, but I'm guessing the extra damage rolls aren't really that crucial. So for the sake of it being cool and maybe actually being better, we're going to keep 1,000 arrows on Zygarde here. So yeah, guys, I think with that, I'm going to go get one final match. Alright, so unfortunately, my opponent before this left. So I think this will be the proper match, and I really hope this is Dragon Dance Flygon. Like, I'm not even going to be upset if I get swept by Dragon Dance Flygon. And now that the Gengar no longer has Levitate, he only has one real switch into Mamoswine, which just gets destroyed by Ice Shard. So I can definitely see Mamoswine putting in a lot of work in this match. Looking at leads though, he could just lead Tapu Koko. That's honestly not that bad of a lead for him to do. So I don't want to lead Greninja, I don't want to lead Aegislash. Actually no, I kind of want to lead Aegislash, but I don't want to lead Mamoswine. Honestly, Aegislash isn't that bad of a lead the more I think about it. Although Tapu Koko is a good lead as well on my end. I think I'm just gonna lead Aegislash, honestly, as he leads Metagross. So this is actually really great because I'm just gonna Shadow Ball. I can just click Shadow Ball here and something is going to take at least like 30-40% from Modest Max. Well, not Modest. Hold on. I think we are... No, we are Modest. Okay. So yeah, Modest Max special attack here. As in comes the Tapu Fini. If this has AV, I can see it taking the hit relatively well, but we do still do 37% to this monster, as unfortunately Tapu Fini does learn Defog, so that could kind of mitigate my spike stacking that I want to do. I don't see him being able to do anything to Clefable, right? I can honestly just bring Clefable and I think click T-Wave. Yeah, I'm gonna bring Clefable here. I really don't care what he wants to do, as he's going to end up going for the top. Very good play on his part. Now what I kind of want to do is actually double switch. So I think I'm going to make an aggressive switch into my Tapu Koko here, expecting him to either want to bring in Gengar or the Metagross, and hopes to maybe get up a sub with Gengar and maybe try to get up rocks with Metagross, as he's going to Moonblast, unfortunately catching me on the switch in. Very good play on his part. Regardless though, I'm gonna go straight for the Volt Switch. Even though we are at -1, we still have the Psychic Terrain up, as he really did this. He really made this play. Why there's no reason for you to make that play. There was no reason for him to have done that. Okay, so he's Life Orbed, unfortunately, and that just did too much damage to Clefable. Oh, this thing has now become an issue. So unfortunately, I think we're going to have to lose our Clefable here very early on in the match. That does really suck, actually. Regardless though, I'm just gonna bring in Greninja here and get up a Spike, as he's probably going to make the switch out into not Toxapex, but I thought he would bring in Tapu Fini. Regardless though, we can still get up one Spike. Now that we know this is Life Orb, it's not going to be as scary to deal with, and I can still get up a substitute with my Zygarde, which I'm thinking about switching in, because if I risk bringing in Mamoswine, then he can burn us. Yeah, I don't want to bring in Zygarde either, so I'm going to make a really aggressive switch into Tapu Koko here. This is really aggressive, as he does get up T-Spike. That's what I was a little bit concerned about. Regardless, I'm just gonna Thunderbolt here. He's gonna bunker. I mean, that's fine. I mean, does it matter? I can still see Zygarde putting in some work, but it would have been nice to get up a substitute on this thing. Regardless though, I'm just gonna T-Bolt. It just died. It just died. It just drops, which is really great. So I can still potentially get up rocks here, which are going to be really helpful. Really helpful. Does Dazzling Gleam not just kill this? Dazzling Gleam has to knock this out. I am a Tapu Koko. You do not live, Flygon. You do not live. Go away. Down it goes. As in comes his own Tapu Koko. I honestly can still save my Tapu Koko, although with T-Spikes up, I'm only going to have maybe 2 more hits left, which honestly isn't that bad. So I can switch out here, maybe fodder something off. Honestly, the Aegislash is a huge threat to him now that the Toxapex is gone. So what I may do here is sack off my Mamoswine, because outside of EQing his Tapu Fini, I'm not really doing much. Greninja is still gonna come in handy. Yeah, I may just switch into my Mamoswine here. Mamoswine isn't doing much. Mamoswine I feel like is my most expendable team member as he tries to go for the Volt Switch. I'm not sure if he is Life Orb now though, so what I may do is just Ice Shard. I really don't think I need Stealth Rocks, honestly. Plus Ice Shard is still gonna be doing at least like 20% to this, as he's actually gonna bring in the Metagross. He really made... This man is making... I don't understand these plays. I don't understand the plays he's making here. Like, he's just making really aggressive switch-ins for no reason. I mean, I guess he thought that I wouldn't go for the Ice Shard, so that kind of makes sense. But I mean, in the long run, even though he made this aggressive play, it's really not going to benefit him much in the long run. So he's gonna go for the Bullet Punch. I'm not sure why he Earthquake there. Maybe he thought I would switch into Aegislash, so that isn't too bad of a play for him to have made there. Regardless though, getting up rocks is really nice, although if I did Earthquake, we would have been able to destroy him there. Regardless though, I'm not too concerned about what he's gonna want to do here, because honestly, I can still live one Earthquake with my Aegislash. The only downside to Aegislash is that he gets a free switch into his Tapu Fini here, and he could go for the Defog. So I'm gonna try and prevent that, and I'm just gonna bring in Greninja here, and I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse, which is going to nuke this. Tapu Fini is not going to be safely switching in either, because I can then just switch up moves, or if I really wanted to, I could just stay in and continue spike stacking as he goes for Defog, but I wouldn't have to do that, I think. Regardless though, even if you brought in Tapu Fini, it's fine. It's honestly not an issue. It's honestly not an issue. So in comes the Tapu Koko, just getting worn down by the hazards at this point. So I'm guessing that he is choiced because he didn't take the opportunity to switch up moves on Mamoswine. So I kind of want to bring in Zygarde, but I can see him just locking himself into Dazzling Gleam here. So I think this is where I can sack off my Tapu Koko. Or honestly, no, I can just I can just sack off my Greninja here if I really wanted to. Even Zygarde isn't that helpful to us anymore. Well, I mean, Zygarde can EQ. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna sack off Greninja here. I don't really think I need it. As he ends up going for the Thunderbolt, he's going to clean knock me out, and Zygarde can just come in here, click Earthquake. We can definitely live one Dazzling Gleam. We can definitely live one. So I'm just gonna Thousand Arrow here. If I had Earthquake, I wouldn't be too concerned about the Tapu Fini here. Maybe Thousand Arrow can still knock this out. No, okay, so Earthquake would have made the rolls a little bit more favorable in our position there, but I mean, it's fine because we can still outspeed this and knock him out with Thousand Arrow regardless, thanks to our hazards, which are, ooh, I love hazards, man. I actually really like this team. Regardless though, he's got no safe switch-ins. We can knock this out, live any hit from Gengar, and then still knock out the Tapu Koko, because if he locked himself into something like Hidden Power Ice or the Dazzling Gleam, I do have my Aegislash, which can still beat him 1v1. So regardless of what he wants to do here, I'm not really too concerned about anything. What I could do actually is even set up a substitute if I really wanted to. Should I substitute here? I think I'm gonna sub. The reason I want to sub is to get into my 100% range form. So I'm hoping that we can get knocked into range here, do we? No, we do not. Actually, no, we will get knocked into range with this next hit though. So I can go ahead and Thousand Arrow here. As long as I don't get a low roll, we should be fine. We should be fine. As down... as down it goes. And no, I thought we would be in range. The percents never make sense on Showdown. It'll say 24%, but then we'll be at like 25%. Okay, I mean, that's fine. It's not a big issue, honestly. It would have been cool to just end the match off with 100% Zygarde. Regardless though, I can just win with Tapu Koko and my Aegislash here. He's probably gonna want to try and sack off Gengar here, and then maybe hope to live a hit from Aegislash. If he doesn't knock me out, regardless though, there's nothing he can do, I think, at this point. If this is Scarfed, well, no, yeah, even if this is Scarfed, I don't think he can win, because he's not going to be able to knock out Aegislash in our defensive form. So if he Shadow Balls here, that would actually be a little bit better for us. But what I'm thinking is that he could maybe substitute. But then if he substitute, we can still live one Shadow Ball. So yeah, it doesn't really matter if he tries to sub here. It doesn't really matter if he tries to sub here. Yeah, see him Shadow Balling, substituting was a better play if he did have it. Like I said, we can still live one. We can still live one. Yeah, we can still live one. Like, I'm trying to think if maybe we can't. But Aegislash is pretty bulky. So yeah, if we don't live this hit, we may lose. Oh, he predicted us the Shadow Sneak. He predicted us the Shadow Sneak. Not bad. Not a bad play on his part, but he would have still put himself in range of where Tapu Koko could have knocked him out. So yeah, now I'm just gonna Shadow Ball. I'm just gonna Shadow Ball. And that is game. So I think that was still a pretty decent last match and 3 pretty fun games. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the match. Mamoswine just asserting his dominance in this live, and of course Zygarde 100% is an absolute monster. So hopefully you guys did all enjoy the live. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys do not mind me throwing in Pokebank OU along with regular OU. And with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. So later, everybody.
Because my brain and heart are both tied in the knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.